He's playing well tonight. I think, you know, if the thing is to, you know, keep him calm, keep him in the pocket, he looks like he's very calm in the pocket.
And he's been perfect through the air tonight, 5 of 5 for 49. Coming off a game in Denver last week where he made 3 key mistakes, 1 fumble, 2 interceptions, and a 12-10 loss. And sure enough, we start singing his praises. He drops that ball. And you've got Jamal Lewis then taking the swing pass out to the right, but not picking up enough for the first down.
Yeah, one of the things that they were talking about is, okay, if you have a bad play, just take the bad play. Don't do something that makes it worse. Here, he fumbles a snap getting out of there, but he comes up and he still makes a play out of it. And this is the thing that they would like him, you know, just to fall on that ball. I think what he did, heck, that wasn't bad.
They're going to measure. It's close enough to measure. That yellow line is sometimes off, but not that far off.
It was interesting. I was at practice on Saturday, and neither Kyle Bowler nor the center, Mike Flynn, practiced. And you could see that evidenced in that last snap, couldn't you?
Yeah. So they're shy of the first down. Mike Sherman's team's going to get it back. Antonio Chapman will take the kick. Dave Zastidal will send it up into the night sky. First punt of the game for the Ravens, who have scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter for the first time since Brian Billick became the coach here in '99. 2 on the board tonight. They've been averaging only about a touchdown per game coming into the contest tonight. That's per game, and 2 in the period. Fair catch called for by Antonio Chapman. You see, you've got the football stadium, and then across the parking lot, Oriole Park at Camden Yards. And that, of course, was home to another Iron Man. We have Brett Favre here tonight, Cal Ripken, with those 2,632 consecutive games. Gehrig, of course, had 2,130. So Ripken exceeded that mark by 24%. But look at this, with Favre, he exceeded the old record of Ron Jaworski by 89% and still counting.
Of the two, you're a baseball guy and a football guy. Which to you would be the more amazing?
I would say that's a great question. I've got to give it to Favre.
Start. Number 71. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains. First down.
You can't diminish what Ripken did. He shows up every day. But I think if you play this sport and you're going to get sacked about 400 times, which Favre has been through the years, and you're going to go through all that he goes through, and his thumb is always banged up and bruised and all of that, I'd say this sport.
Yeah, because the amazing thing about Brett Favre, and not only the way he plays and what he's done, and you know, and winning and league MVP and all those things, but he doesn't get hurt, and that has to be something that is very, very special about this guy.
On 1st and 15, Favre throws, and that's caught by Donald Lee to the 11-yard line. So we were talking tonight about Brett Favre during the open. We spent a lot of time with him yesterday. He was very open. He was very honest. And it's funny because he said, I said, what does your wife think? What does Deanna want you to do? He said, you know, it's funny. He said, I'm in the living room the other night, and she says, Brett, what are you going to do? You're going to play next year? He says, the phone rings. We get on the phone. We never finish the conversation. So to me, it's like, and Deanna's like every reporter in Wisconsin. Hey, Brett, what are you going to do?
But I think the amazing thing about that, too, is that Brett didn't want her to ask again, and she didn't.
Right. Sam Congatto, and I think you summed it up at the top, John. I don't think he knows what he wants to do. I agree with you. If I had to bet on what he'll do next year, I think he will play. He did say, among other things, he said this season will have no bearing because a lot of people have said, you know what, you can't go out like this. You can't go out with a team that's 3-10. You can't go out having the kind of season you've had. And he says that won't be any factor at all.
No, he said because, you know, that's not his body of work, and there's no guarantee that if he does come back, that they won't have the same type of team and the same record next year.
Exactly. From the 21-yard line. Gatto. So yesterday, here was Favre talking about what he would do if he didn't play football.
too much free time is probably not a good thing. But you know, we have 2 girls, and we're busy with them, and I have a lot to do on my property. I enjoy playing golf, enjoy hunting, but can only do so much of that. So I don't know. I guess the best answer is I have no idea.
And it's a very honest answer. And, we had asked him about going to bed at night. Does he ever not think about it? He says no. Samkon Gatto is the injured Packer. Injury timeout. .123 remaining in the opening period. So Gatto is the injured Packer. He gets up, and we'll be back right after this.
Relive another great moment on ESPN. It's the biggest day of racing in America, the fabled Indianapolis 500. Difficult to capture for the most savvy veteran drivers. More difficult for a young 26-year-old gunning for his first checkered flag at the Brickyard at Indianapolis. But Helio Castroneves defied the odds and won the big race, climbed the catch fence, and the legend of Spider-Man was born. A celebration of sports memories from around the globe. Great moments on ESPN.
Ryan to go over there and find out what's going on. Get a report in a minute.
He sees he's rushed the ball 6 times tonight for 45 yards, and since he's been starting, he's been the workhorse. I mean, this is what, the Packers about 5 or 6 years ago turned into a running team.
Tony Fisher is the running back. He takes the swing pass, and it's tackled over the 29-yard line by Tommy Polley. Tony Fisher with Green hurt, with Najee Davenport hurt. Fisher ascended to the top spot. He got hurt. They tried Rashard Lee for a while. He's gone right now. That gave Gatto the opportunity, and now Fisher backing up Gatto and in the game here.
Look at this. They got their empty backfield here. 3 receivers down here in the bottom, 2 receivers up on top.
3rd down and 3. So 5 receivers going into the patterns. Pressure is on. Pass is caught by Antonio Chapman, and he'll pick up the 1st down. So Favre, short drop, gets rid of it quickly with 4 wideouts there. Suggs comes in and knocks Favre down at the end of the play. And in the waning moments of the 1st quarter, Green Bay able to move the chains. And Favre wincing.
Terrell Suggs is going to come free here, number 55, and that's why Favre is wincing, because just after he threw that ball, Suggs was right on him. That's one of the things when you go empty backfield, you are going to get a rush, and you better get rid of the ball quickly.
End of the period. Baltimore 14, Green Bay 3, and Monday Night Football resumes after this message and a word from our ABC station.
The offensive leader of each team is called the quarterback. The quarterback, or QB, will direct the team from the huddle prior to each play. He will either call the plays himself or more commonly relay instructions from his coach via an electronic earpiece in his helmet. Because of the vast number of plays available, some less experienced quarterbacks may wear a cheat sheet on their arm until they have the plays memorized. Just prior to the snap, the quarterback may audible. Here he is changing the play by yelling to his teammates if he sees the defense has adjusted to his original play call or responds to weakness in the defensive formation. The 2 types of plays the offense will run through the quarterback are running and passing plays. Because the defense must use very different techniques to defend against the pass and the run, there's a great deal of strategy on both sides to determine which type of play will be used on each down. The whole set.
Back in Baltimore, Al Michaels, John Madden, Sam Ryan as we start the second quarter. Ravens jumping on the Packers early and leading 14-3. It's first down for Green Bay. Favre took a shot on the last play of the first quarter, starts the second quarter, and begins by giving the ball to Tony Fisher, who gets it back upfield. Gain of about 3. That report on Samcon Gatto from Samcon Ryan. Sam?
My new name. Well, thank you, Al. Samcon actually on the training table behind me. He tweaked his right knee. That's what the training staff is telling me. They're checking it out. He tried to walk a little bit on the sideline, loosen it up. They are checking the ligaments. They tell me his return is probable.
And take a look at this. Amon Green, of course, their starter, hurt. Davenport then took over. He got hurt right away. Fisher starting 1 game. Lee started 1. And Gatto now 5. Top 2 guys who will both be free agents next year on injured reserve. Favre to the fullback Henderson across the 50. And William Henderson takes the ball to the 43-yard line for a Green Bay first down, tackled by Bart Scott.
You know, for a guy that used to be a load and a lead blocker, Henderson has become a pretty good receiver, and he doesn't do that lead blocking stuff anymore, and this is what he does more than ever. But watch this move that he's going to make right here on Deion Sanders. I mean, here comes Deion Sanders, tackle him, whoop, right over him. I said Deion Sanders was coming to tackle him. I'm not sure about that.
Euphemistically.
Yeah, let's
Deion, a great cover corner. He hates that term.
Well, when he tackles like that, that's why he hates that term.
Here's Fisher. Flag down. Fisher picks up a couple. Henderson, meanwhile, has already caught 2 tonight. John talking about playing more of a role as a receiver, and 28 receptions for him this year. Tom White.
Holding, number 63. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Left guard Scott Wells.
I remember a few years ago when Brett Favre's top receiver was Amon Green. He liked that check down stuff, and now to Henderson, it's not check down, it's not stuff in the middle, but it's stuff outside in the perimeters.
Early second period. Fisher the tailback behind the fullback Leach. Is swinging after Fisher. Fisher across the 50 to the 48-yard line. Let's take a look at it. Dallas Thomas, a guy who plays all over the field, John.
Well, you know, he's a linebacker, basically. I mean, that's what it is. He's a linebacker in a 3-4. But here you see him lined up back here as a safety. And here you see him as a linebacker, as an outside linebacker. Here you see him as a 3 technique, a defensive tackle, as a pass rusher. Here you see him starting out as a safety, but blitzing up the middle. So he's there, as Rex Ryan said, he's their X factor. He lines up all over. He's been a defensive lineman, a linebacker, and a defensive back. 2nd
and 14, and the pass is a little bit behind Driver. And as if that isn't enough, he is on all of their special teams, and he is good enough on special teams to have been the designated special teams player from this conference in the Pro Bowl 2 years ago. Well, you know that he's a bright guy, and that's a big thing. You know, when you have a player who is a good player and a physical talent, but is a smart football player, you can do these kinds of things with him. But I'll tell you, I mean, just being a good football player is not enough. He better be a bright guy, and Dallas Thomas is a bright guy. And in phenomenal shape. 3rd down and 14. Favre rolling. Quintessential Favre. And then he throws into traffic and has it intercepted at the 3-yard line. Buying time, going to the sideline, launching it, and Robert Ferguson, the intended receiver, with Samari Roll picking it off inside the 5-yard line. Brett Favre leading the league in interceptions, 23rd right there.
After the bench did more than its fair share in the first half. Here's Gay, a part of the rally here in the second half. Roll away.
here if they get all their guys back, the people that were injured this year. And how about Sam Kahn? Got him! R.W. McCorders can't catch him!
ESPN presents exclusive coverage of the battle for Holland. The Dutch Cup. From the lowlands to the cities, action that brings fans to their feet. All of the Netherlands' big clubs fight it out for the country's top honours. The Dutch Cup. The Dutch Cup. Early round coverage begins with Holders PSV taking on FC20. Tuesday on ESPN.
It's the holiday season, and it feels like it. And M&T Bank Stadium is the site for Monday Night Football. And not the worst thing in the world. 3rd down at 14. So Favre launches one, has it intercepted. In effect, it's like a great coffin corner punt because they'll have to take over at the 4-yard line. But for Brett, pickoff number 23 this season. Jamal Lewis is the running back. First down for Bowler and company from the 4-yard line. Lewis is going to cut it back. Up to the 8-yard line, Aaron Campman with the tackle.
You know, we were talking earlier about Brian Billick. You know, these last 3 games, he wants to win, and he'd like to see Kyle Bowler kind of step up and take over this team and be the quarterback that he thinks he can be. But, I mean, he has other things. I mean, what's he going to do with Jamal Lewis? I mean, is he going to be back next year? What's he going to do with Chester Taylor? You know, it's what he's going to do with a lot of veterans also that are on their last year of a contract.
And Bowler really has 3 games to make Billick feel a lot better about starting him. He actually almost overran Lewis on the handoff there. You know, John, when you look at somebody like Jamal Lewis, too, diminishing returns over the last couple of years. Of course, he spent time in jail. He had surgery. And he had a phenomenal year a couple of years ago. You can't forget the market for running backs is not great. And all you need to know is that Indianapolis told Edger and James, go out and make whatever deal you can make for yourself. And he couldn't make a deal, and all Indy wanted was a 2nd-round draft choice.
Right, and, you know, and that's a problem. I mean, when they're playing well and they're strong, how long are they going to be? Is Jamal Lewis next year, if you bring him back, is he going to be the Jamal Lewis of 2 or 3 years ago?
And Green Bay has a similar situation with Amon Green. 3rd down and 6. And that pass is incomplete because Al Harris came in on a blitz to force the issue.
Oops, and here comes a late flag.
At the 18. The flag thrown well upfield.
One thing that Kyle Bowler says that, you know, that sometimes it'll get him in trouble, but he said he always looks for Todd Heap.
Number 20, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. And Normatic, 1st down.
5-yard penalty, but a defensive hold is an automatic 1st. And Mike Sherman angry.
And he said Kyle Bowler was back there. He had to get rid of that ball because Al Harris had come into blitz. And he looks for the one guy that he says he always looks for, and he said that, you know, a lot of times that's a very good thing, but, you know, sometimes it gets him in trouble too.
Penalty on Roman, a big one, 1st down up at the 13-yard line, 11:08 to go in the 1st down. And Jamal Lewis again to the 15. Talking about the diminishing returns of Jamal Lewis, he made a bid for the NFL rushing championship a couple of years ago. 2,066 yards, 2nd most in the history of the league to Eric Dickerson at the top of his game. And then with injuries and the legal problems that he has had, he's now to the point where this year he comes into tonight's game with a 3.1 yard per carry average. League average normally around 4.0. Bowler going deep downfield, and the pass is incomplete. He had beaten the coverage, and then Roy Manning, the rookie linebacker, getting the start tonight, running downfield, had it hit him in the back.
Yeah, Kyle Bowler didn't get it out there because you're going to see Clayton has him. I mean, you know, if he gets that ball out there, this is a touchdown. Watch him. You're going to see Manning is going to come right down the middle here. Bowler kind of puts everything on it, but you see Clayton has to wait for it, and Manning is able to catch up with it. The ball just hits him right in the back of the head. But had he got that ball out there about 5 more yards, that's a touchdown.
Threw that against the wind. It's Bowler's first incomplete pass of the night. 3rd down and 8. Out of the shotgun. Pressure is on. Fires it over the middle. Caught. Todd Heap, who scored an earlier touchdown, his favorite target over the last 3 seasons. First down. And it is Darnell Dinkins back there to block for the Ravens, one of their wideouts, who took a shot and is writhing at the 3-yard line. Injury timeout, 10-12 to the half.
Scott? Did you possibly switch chairs with me?
No, not me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Good luck finding your chair, LeBron.
Okay. Okay.
Figure skaters from around the globe compete in the ISU Grand Prix. From the city of Osaka, Japan, the NHK Trophy, Tuesday on ESPN.
Dinkins got hurt. Daniel Wilcox, one of their tight ends, was hurt last week in the game at Denver, ankle injury, and went on injured reserve. So the only healthy tight end at this particular moment is Todd Heap, who's the pass catching tight end.
And you know, the interesting thing, the Ravens also only have 1 active fullback. So usually that's a kind of combo position, that, you know, fullback and tight end, but they only have now 1 of each.
Lewis on a draw up to the 29-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Lewis has now carried 7 times in the game for 35 yards.
You know, getting back to Lewis, you know, it's probably partly Lewis, partly, you know, having different types of quarterbacks. And another big part of it, I think, is the offensive line. The Ravens' offensive line has not played well this year.
And that's a line that's anchored by the left tackle, Jonathan Ogden, who's been to 8 consecutive Pro Bowls. As Bowler slings it to the outside. Todd Heap a little short of the first down. Quickly checking with Sam Ryan.
Yeah, you're talking about Jamal Lewis on the contract situation. I did speak to him about it earlier last week, and he said, you know, I think this organization deserves me a long-term contract. I think I've proven what I can do, what I show them as far as the carries. That's really why he wanted the 20 to 25 carries a game. His production just isn't there this season. He did say if they intend on putting the franchise tag on me, that's just strictly a business decision.
Well, it'll be very interesting in his case and in the case of a lot of other players in the league, you know, especially the running backs. The market is just not what you think it would be.
Yeah, and I would rather have a back want it to win the game than to get a new contract.
Definitely. Chester Taylor up to the 38-yard line, talking about Lewis over the last 3 seasons. Of course, he had that tremendous year in 2003, and then last year 1,000 yards, and this year with the jail time, with the surgery and all of that, you know, coming into tonight's game, just 673 yards. Was out last week because of a hand injury. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Here he goes again to the outside, picks up about 4. 2nd and 6.
You know, that's a, you know, we're saying that you would hope that a guy would want a lot of carries. You know, in other words, the old deal where just put the whole game on my shoulders. I'll just take it and we'll go out and whip him. You would hope that that would be the reason. But then you can see the other side of it, too. We look at his numbers. The numbers go down. If your numbers go down, you don't get a contract. So if you want a bigger contract, you have to get your numbers up. But I guess I'm old-fashioned. I would just like to see, you know, let's go out there, first of all, to win the game. If we do that, other things will fall into play.
Well, a lot of us are old-fashioned in that regard. On 2nd and 6, Heap having a big night, scored a touchdown to get him started. And that's 5 catches now for Todd Heap for 35 yards.
You know, Jim Bates is the defensive coordinator of the Packers, and this is the thing that he was worried about is Todd Heap. He says, you know, he said, if we blitz or if we put pressure on, he said, what I'd like to do, he said, we can handle the wide receivers. You know, we have the corners that can do that, but I don't know that we can handle Todd Heap. I don't know that we have a defense for Todd Heap, in the first half of the showing that they haven't.
9 completed passes, 5 of them to Heap. This is the 11th play of a drive that started at the 4-yard line after the Favre interception. Gain of a couple will be second down and 8.
Now, you're talking about Jonathan Ogden kind of anchoring this offensive line. He's not having a Jonathan Ogden year, but he's still one of the best tackles in football. And when he turns, when he fans out on you like he did on Kabir Bajabiamila on that last play, he really fans out. I mean, he'll take a guy, and watch, he's just going to turn out, just fan out here. But watch, when he gets through with you, you're on the line of scrimmage, but you're about 5 yards removed from where you started.
Second down and 8. The crowd starting to go into the chant when he makes a catch, but this time it is Nick Collins who dislodges the football.
There's a guy that's just getting better and better for the Packers is Nick Collins, and that's what you want to do. I mean, first of all, you'd like to get there before the ball gets there and intercepts it, but if you're not going to get there before, you want to get there shortly thereafter and knock it out of there.
Collins has started every game this season for defensive coordinator Jim Bates's group. They are ranked, the Packers are #1 in pass defense, but that doesn't mean they're the best pass defense in the league. Simply a statistical measure, and that pass is caught by Derek Mason, and Mason to the 20-yard line before he's thrown out of bounds by Nick Collins. 27 yards on that, the 13th play of this drive.
You know, and that's what Derek Mason does so well. He runs pass patterns against his zone. You watch a shotgun here, and Derek Mason is going to find the window right there for Kyle Bowler to throw it into. You know, Kyle Bowler has a real compact delivery, and when he's not successful, it doesn't look very good. It looks like he's shot putting the ball, but when he's successful, it's kind of a thing of beauty.
Here's Lewis. Picks up about 7. Yeah, if you just walked into the stadium and you didn't know about Bowler and the frustration that some of the fans have with him and the erratic start to his career, you'd say, this guy's pretty good.
No, I'm very impressed with him. I mean, I thought, again, I wanted to watch him practice on Saturday, and I went there figuring, well, I'll watch him. I'll kind of study him. I'll see what he does. And then he just stood there in sweats all day. Didn't do a thing. His right toe was bothering him, but he looks awfully good tonight.
Lewis could not change direction. He's tackled here by Niall Diggs, setting up 3rd and short.
Now, here's the motion I was talking about. You see how the ball is right there, and he doesn't really bring it back a long way. He just steps up, and it's just a real short thing. And again, it looks like a thing of beauty when it's completed, but when it's incomplete or intercepted, it looks like he's kind of shot putting it a little. He's not bad. He's 10 out of 12 for 102 yards and a touchdown.
Lewis out, 3rd and 4. This is the 16th play of a drive that has consumed almost 8.5 minutes. And into the end zone, and it's one-handed and caught by Randy Himes, who got position on Ahmad Carroll and hauls it in for the touchdown. Great catch. They go 96 yards, and Himes gets position and one-hands it in.
Look at the height advantage that Himes has. He's 6'3", so Kyle Bowler knows if you get him out there one-on-one, they come on a blitz, he knows I'm going to have one-on-one out there. I got the height advantage. I'm just going to throw a jump ball. And if you're going to throw a jump ball, you're going to throw it to Himes, and you're going to throw it on Ahmad Carroll.
He had a 5-inch advantage. Meanwhile, the Ravens, who had scored 20 or more points in only one game all season, have 21 in the half and lead 21-3.
The line of scrimmage is the imaginary line where the ball is placed before each play. Every player, 11 on each side, have to be behind their respective side of this line before each play. The teams are separated from each other by the length of the football and cannot encroach that space before the play begins. The play begins when the center for the offensive team snaps the ball, usually to the quarterback. The quarterback must be behind the line of scrimmage to legally complete a forward pass. While any offensive player can pass the ball from behind this line, no player can make a forward pass once they cross the line. At this moment, they are limited to running the ball or making a sideways or backwards pass known as a lateral. A lateral can be made anywhere and sometimes is made behind the line of scrimmage. Occasionally, the flea flicker is used when the quarterback pitches it to a running back, who then pitches it back to the quarterback, who then delivers a pass.
The Ravens go 96 yards. 16 plays, 8.5 minutes to go up by 18. The killer for Green Bay on that drive was that holding penalty on a 3rd and 6 deep in Baltimore territory against Mark Roman. And down the field they move, and then Himes made a great catch for the touchdown, and it's an 18-point Baltimore lead. Stover to kick off. Kick is dropped and then picked up by Leach at the 11-yard line. He's going to bring it back to the 19-yard line. So 4:04 remaining in the opening half here in Baltimore. Ravens on top of the Packers 21-3.
After the bench did more than its fair share in the first half. Here's Gay, a part of the rally here in the second half.
Whirl away.
About next year if they get all their guys back, the people that were injured this year. And how about Sam Got R.W. McCorders can't catch him.
Next Monday, the Super Bowl champs on Monday Night Football. The Patriots to the Meadowlands to take on the Jets Sunday on ESPN. The guys will be right here as the Ravens will host the Minnesota Vikings in Baltimore. 1st and 10. Tony Fisher is running back. Gatto probably will not play, at least for the rest of the half. And over the middle, Favre throws to Driver, who takes a shot but gets up. Ed Reed gets up, gives Driver all he had, and he holds on for a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, I was just thinking that the Packers have to start getting the ball to the wide receivers. They'd only caught 2 passes, and that's what you have to do. I mean, Donald Driver, that's part of it. I mean, you have to be able to catch those outs and those comebacks and those up, but you have to go inside and take on an Ed Reed hit.
Can't be the backfield with Fisher going in motion. And Favre's going to go deep down the left side, and that pass is tipped and incomplete. And there is Ed Reed all over the field. One reason he was the defensive player of the year. Robert Ferguson, the intended receiver.
How many push-ups did he do there after he missed that? That's the old thing where you think you should have it, you don't get it, then you give yourself 5 or 10. This is 2, 3. 3.
Just 3.
That's not much punishment.
He's coming back from an injury.
I think Brett Favre is throwing the shorter pass and the medium ones pretty well, but he's just throwing that ball up on the deep ones tonight.
Brought back to Noah Herron, so they go to their 3rd string back to the 46-yard line. Sam talking about Sam Gatto with the knee injury, the sprain. So the word from the bench right now is you won't see him for the balance of the half, which has 3:05 to go. So you're down to Fisher and Herron, who's a rookie free agent out of Northwestern.
Right, and they like to save Fisher for the passing downs or just this third down type situation here, you'll see Tony Fisher in there as a back now.
There's Fisher. Perry, meanwhile, started the season, played in 2 games earlier with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Third down and 4. Far to the right side, and that is caught by Antonio Chapman. Let's see where they give him forward progress. It'll be enough for a first down, because they're going to mark it at the 48-yard line. That'll move the chains.
Yeah, that's not bad when you spread out the formation. If you just have to throw for 4 or 5 yards, it's really tough to spread out. You know, to go 4 wide receivers, 5 receivers, empty backfield, and then have any time today. So I think, you know, that one was 4 wide receivers. Brett Favre knew he had to pick up about 5 yards, and you can do that, but you can't throw that 15-yard pass in that situation.
Favre, who is 9 out of 16, moves those shoulders to avoid the sack, and then throws into triple.